let's go ahead and just talk about just like kind of the day in the life of a PM. Like if you think about the activities that make up your prototypical day, and obviously there's going to be some variance, what are those activities and like how much time do you spend on each of them? Like what type of activities?
Yeah. So it's been different for different types of PM roles that I've worked in. Initially I started out in more consumer-facing advertising stuff, and so in those roles, my days were, starting out looking at performance metrics in the morning, typically seeing, if there's anything on fire or any immediate issues I need to look into. Then progressing throughout the day, spending some time researching maybe what competitors are doing, thinking about additional, roadmap or changes we might want to be making to the product.
Yeah.
Interacting with the engineering team and working on either sprint planning or answering questions around products that are in development.
Okay.
And spending some time interacting with customer-facing teams, whether it would be sales teams or customer support or directly with customers. It'd be a mix of those different things.
Gotcha.
As I've kind of like progressed into more enterprise SaaS focused product now, I spend a significantly higher amount of time interacting with customers because the customers are significantly larger and have a individual customer has a much louder voice in what our roadmap will be.
Yeah.
So I'll spend a lot of time on customer interviews, interacting over email, running beta programs, and working with customer success to kind of communicate our roadmap to those customers and also determine how we can best align our plans with what their needs for their businesses are.
Gotcha. Okay. And if you think about those type of activities, like, so if we reflect back on like the consumer world, like you said, a good amount of time kind of looking at performance metrics, making sure nothing's on fire, sometime working with engineering, road mapping, like answering questions about current features. Like if you had to kind of break down some of that, like do you have a sense of like roughly X amount of time, 20% on this, 30% on that, over the course of say an average week?
Yeah, I would think ideally where I wanted to be was generally about a third of the time interacting with customers, gathering requirements, thinking about roadmap, a third of the time analyzing performance, understanding the product, and other things related to current state and what's going on, and then another third of the time interacting with engineering on what we're building next.
Gotcha.
So I kind of, that's probably a gross oversimplification,
right?
But in general, that's how I would want to bucket things.
Yeah, like no individual week ends up looking like that because like some fire will start and then take up half the week, but like if you average out over time, maybe it looks rough a little bit.
Yeah, and so end of quarter, typically you'll be very focused on what are the performance metrics, especially in the enterprise SaaS world, like what are we doing to close the big deals at the end of the quarter? Mm-hmm. Whereas, you get up on annual planning, for instance, and then you're very focused on what's the roadmap and you're kind of setting aside, okay, if something's on fire, it's going to have to wait until next week.
Yeah.